Hiya, it's Wendy here again from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm doing a practical project for myself. Recently I've done a craft room makeover. I haven't put that video up yet, but it's coming. So yeah, I need a computer for my room. Now the computer has been ordered. I've got an old breadboard or chopping board that I'm going to resin. I'm going to spray it black in the garage and then resin it and make it look like planets and space, hopefully. That's the plan. So that it would lift it up off the desk. So if ever I spill resin, which, you know, accidents happen, it won't go over the computer. It will go to the board and that's it. So that's the plan. Let's see how I get on with this one. Okay, so I've got the chopping board and I've sprayed it black on one side. I haven't bothered about the underside because you're never going to see it. I'm going to cover the back in liquid latex just so that I can get rid of any drips from the resin. Really lifts off easy if you do that, and I gave up with the brush and ended up just pouring it on. Now I have checked the level of this and I know it's not flat. It's flat in one way, but it's sunk in the middle, so I know I'm going to have problems with it. I'm using Snow White mica powder with macro pearl. I'm also using Mopper Crafts Interference white purple. Purples I'm going to use are bronze purple from Let's Resin and midnight purple from PPP Pigments. And as usual, I'm using Hemway black that I always decant because I don't like to use the packets. This beautiful blue is from Resin Pro. It's from their Sahara collection. It hasn't actually got a colour written on it unless I just cannot read it because it's in a different language. And I'm going to be using Vista Rapids. All links will be in the description below to everything that I'm using, as much as I can possibly manage. So I've mixed up the resin and I've mixed up about 6 ounces, I think it was. Anything that I don't use, I usually pour into a separate mould, but this time I used it all. And this layer is basically to try and get the board flat. Now it is old, it is warped, and I really want the centre filled up a little with resin so that I can get it as flat as possible for the next stage. So I have this board sitting on top of a couple of upturned plastic pots and inside a big plastic container that's really old and we've used for spraying glue and paint and all sorts. And I'm going to use a torch on this product. Now as there's no silicone mould, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to burn the silicone. I can go over this with as many times as I like with the silicone torch as long as I don't burn the resin. So 24 hours later and it's time to do basically the undercoat of the colours. Now I'm going to be throwing a lot of colours on this because I kind of want a mixture underneath. And I'm just going to go with the flow. I did say that maybe it's going to be kind of a space background type scene, but you know, resin does what resin wants and I'm just going to throw it on and see what I get. So here we go, look at that blue, isn't that blue gorgeous? It's a Resin Pro colour, their colours are stunning. And I've got the white with the macro pearl and I'm just going to basically, just like I said, go with the flow. So as you are watching this video, you can see me putting the colours on and playing with the colours. And basically anything goes when you're doing art. Art is subjective, it's what you want it to be. And you'll be able to see parts that I've sped up where I'm moving around and there's dead space where I'm not actually at the board. But because it's sped up, you'll see how the resin is moving off this board. It is falling off and it's quite apparent to me once I get halfway through it that I'm going to lose a lot of resin here. It won't be wasted. I'll use that resin that's underneath somehow anyway. But before I get to the next layer, I am going to have to think of a way to stop or hold it back so that I can flatten it out more. It's definitely still sunk in the middle. So I'm moving the colours around with a stick with my heat gun on low to start with and then on high, because resin when it's first poured will mix with itself. Vista Rapids does have a long pot life, so you have a long time to play with it before it gets to that point where it won't mix because it's too thick. So I've still got some colours left that I'm going to put over the top. I love this blue, it's so sweet. And this is where I decide to pour a big puddle pour on the board. Now don't ask me why I did that. It's just one of those things, you know, you get it in your head and that's what you want to do. So I did it. But you can see the resin falling off the board. This is so funny. Seeing it back, fast forwarded, it's so funny because when you're doing it, it takes so long, you can't see it. You know it's happening, but you just can't see it. So I'm blasting it with the torch to get rid of those pesky bubbles, and it is bringing up some cells as well, actually. But I do a little squirt with isopropyl alcohol, and you can see the effect is stunning. So if you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions, you just want to say hello, don't forget to use the comment section below. I always get back to comments and it's nice to hear from you. So 24 hours later, and you can see this is my plan to stop the resin from going over the side so much while I'm pouring the next layer. I've put some 2mm plexiglass along the edge and I've hot glued it so that it's created a dam. So when I do the next layer, I will make sure that the dam is full, and when I take the plexiglass and hot glue off, I should have a nice square edge. So this is the third layer now, and I'm just going to be using two colours with this with quite a lot of clear resin. I do want to fill up those gaps at the end, and I just want to add some different colour to the top. So I'm going to be using Dreamy Aquamarine by Resin 8 and the Bronze Purple, which is Let's Resin. Now I do have this on the underside, but I think it's vanished a little bit, so I want to put a bit more in. So the bottom needed a bit more colour, and the aquamarine is absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, well, I've got to put it up the top as well because I love it so much. You've got to see it. I'm not a green person, but that aquamarine is gorgeous. And I just wanted to make sure that a bit of colour went in the gap down the side of the board where the plexiglass is. So using up the rest of the resin that I have made up, and I have to utilise this blue. It's so gorgeous. I keep saying that, I know, but it is stunning. And a little micro brush just to put some wiggly bits in so that it spreads the colour out a little bit more. So this is 24 hours later and it's time to take off the plexiglass from the side. I think it's done its job quite well. There was no leaks. I was quite happy with the way it performed. And it's literally just pulling it away from the sides. The glue takes a little bit more effort to get off in some places, but I'm really happy the way it worked. I did heat up the plexiglass a little bit the first time with my heat gun, but it really didn't need it. At the other end, I didn't use it at all. So because there's a little bit of a lip where the plexiglass was, I'm just trimming it up with a knife. Just scraping a knife along there, and I'm going to use an Emery Board sander just to sand it down so it's kind of a curve like the rest of the board, because the next layer is going to go right over the top of all of it. So I'm going to do a bit of writing now on this board. It wasn't a plan to start with, but I figured I can do what I like really because it's my project. And you can do whatever you like because it's your project. So I'm using the decor colour silver and the decor colour gold, and I'm going to do a little bit of writing and some pencil lines on my project. If this was your project, how would you finish it off? How would you put your own personal design or touch to this? Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to find out what other people see. Other people always see different to you. No matter how similar you are in nature, you will always see something different. And I love that. Everybody's different. So for the top and final coat, I decided to add some sparkle. Now I picked up these glitter pieces from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below, and I'm just using the star ones that are kind of a pink blue, and I think they look sweet. And I'm also going to put in some Henway glitter, and again I'll put the links in the description. And some random white, which I had in the drawer. Now I couldn't tell you where I got that from. I've had it in the drawer for years and I thought, I love it, I've got to use it. So I've mixed up my resin and I've put such a tiny amount of glitter in there. I did not want to overcome the whole entire piece with glitter. I just wanted an accent of glitter, so it is literally a fraction of a teaspoon. So there you go, one old chopping board that has completely been transformed, and I really do like it. I always say that, but I do. I love it. So I thought I'd show you taking off the backing. It's always good to know how these things turn out. And yes, they all the little buttons popped off really easily. The silicone came off in one big sheet and I was very happy with that as well. And to finish it off, I put some big white feet on it so that it won't scratch anything it sits on. And knowing that the board is bowing in the middle, it's going to bow out underneath. Now, for those of you who wondered why I didn't actually turn it over and use the other side, it's because it bows the other way. And you can't fill in something that bows upwards in the middle. That's why I use the other side, just so you know. So I am now in my new craft room, which used to be the dining room, but don't tell anyone. I have my new computer because it turned up early. Yay! And I now have a stand for it to sit on. Yay! I really love this one. I love the fact that my technique worked and I've now got a flat board. So if ever you do anything that's on a bit of warped wood, there are ways around it. It's not exactly what I said at the beginning, a space type thing, but it could be. It's got stars in it, it's very sparkly. I don't actually know if you can see the sparkle in that, but it looks to me more like a dragon's eye than anything else. Although a peacock feather does kind of look like that as well. So I expect you'll see different things in there to what I do. Now it's coming up to my 1 year anniversary in September. I've been doing YouTube for a year. Can you, it's just, where has it gone? The time's flown. Anyway, I'm also coming up to 2,000 subscribers and that's amazing. I can't believe the support I've got through this. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so because I'm going to be doing a giveaway in September. It's only a couple of weeks away. I'm going to be giving away something that I've made or maybe will make. I don't know yet. We'll see about that. Be sure to check out my upcoming videos so you don't miss out. And share it out to your friends and family so they don't miss it either. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you've got any comments, questions or ideas, put them in the section below and I'll get back to you. For now, I'll put up some stills and I hope you have a nice week. Bye for now.